We're back. Yes, that was their new song.
Yeah. Oh yeah, excellent.
That epitomizes for me what our scene's all about. This new emergence.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's just a beautiful song. Yeah. So speak on the new album, Tony.
Well, I've only heard that one track.
Oh, you've heard?
Yeah,
okay,
okay. Yeah, no, that's the Rachel and them lot, or his management kept keeping that.
Oh, they kept it under wraps. Oh, right. I thought you would have.
It's a big, no. There's a lot of for a big record label like that. Yeah. There's a lot of work gone into the timeline of release, who it's released to, its embargoes.
Right. Wow.
Who can play it and when? So they get exclusives. They're online exclusives.
Really?
They're exclusives that happen with radio stations. So, obviously, first of all, it's going to be they're going to offer it to Mr. Cullum and Mr. Peterson initially.
Okay.
In this country
Cullum
anyway.
and Mr. Peterson?
It's all over. It's from then on. And then you've got then it will come to us at some point,
right? Depending
on how we want to do it. Anyway, I won't go into more detail about that.
That's the next level. That's the next level kind of detail.
About what we're trying to do at the moment.
Wow, but man.
He is. He's quite instrumental. He's his own man. He's Moses' mate, right?
Exactly.
And I met him through Moses three years ago.
Okay.
Really nice guy, but you know what? He's powerful.
Yeah,
of course.
Oh, yeah. Also,
he knows what he needs to do. He knows how he wants to go about it.
Exactly. Speak about the title of the album as well. It's called Back to the Future. Like, what
do you think it means, Marcus?
What do I think it means? I think it means us as a people rising into the future. That's what I see it as.
Basically, it's taking our heritage, the strength of our heritage, and using it for us to push forward.
Right.
That's always been the message through his own music.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Right.
I can hear that.
His combo with Dutsu Makatini, the South Africans anyway,
right,
is like the ancestors.
Yeah.
Like the ancestors. Now, actually, what a lot of people don't realise is that the cover for that and the imagery for that ancestors project was actually taken from Azar Lawrence.
Who's that? I've not heard of him.
Azar Lawrence, saxophonist based in California.
Okay.
Part of the whole, I think it's part of Horace Tapscott's kind of family of musicians that I was lucky enough to, I'm going to take the echo off here. I was lucky enough to meet some of them when I was in LA. And what Horace Tapscott was he was a piano player, but he built like the Pan-African Orchestra. You heard of them?
I've heard of them, yeah. Okay.
So Azar Lawrence is a kind of a fusion player. A lot of his stuff was turned up under fusion compilations, a lot of big dance floor stuff. But effectively, he's a very spiritual player, and he had an album out that was very similar to the cover of Ancestors and that whole ethos. But Horace Tapscott's great because they basically used that thing grew up from the community. And with other people like Reggie Harris, Jared Wilson, and they were the teachers of people like Kamasi Washington.
Oh right, one of my favourite guys,
and Terrace Martin,
Right.
And they used to meet in Landmark Park in California and do these Sunday sessions for all the youths to come and play their instruments, male, female, young, not so young, and then build a musical community. And these guys actually went off and did stuff within jazz, but they also did stuff within hip hop. So Terrace co-produced Kendrick Lamar's album.
Wow.
With mates with Nipsey. He was there all kind of, and he created a brass section for Snoop, which is where Kamasi came in, and Keon Harold, and blah blah blah. And so it's all like a family of black music, all supporting each other. But at the base of it, from our perspective, is a lot of jazz stuff. But going back to Shabaka, I think what he's trying to do, now because you've got Eddie on your album, right? As a drum.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, imagine my surprise when I bumped into you two in the middle of Leicester, right?
Definitely. I remember
Eddie doing here.
Yeah.
And then you told me about your secret project,
right?
Which I was very pleased about.
Thank you.
But yeah,
turned out to be a great project as well.
You know how he's trying to do it. He's doing it with grace. He's doing it with honesty and integrity. He's doing it with the strength of our ancestors. And again, I can't fault him. I cannot fault him.
Yeah, definitely, man. He's there.
If, in your head, I want to get something out of your head now. When you're listening to all this stuff and it's just you by yourself and you're thinking, what do you call it? What? Give it a genre, a name.
I try and avoid that. I always try and avoid that.
Yeah.
So for instance, let me just explain something. I'm literally, I'm about to take a big step this weekend. I'm going from the nighttime
into the day, light today.
Yeah.
That's really good. Well done for that. Well done for that. Congratulations.
She gave me quite a lot of free reign of what I'm going to be doing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Hopefully spreading my wings a little bit further as the weeks progress.
That's nice to know.
Anyway, that's another story. But what I try to do, but framing that, I had to use the word. I played a bit of jazz, a bit of soul, But what our homegrown talent is doing is a mixture of jazz. It's a mixture of urban. I hate that word, but it's a mixture of Afrobeat. It's a mixture, like I said, as I explained at the top of this interview. But it's a genre that can't be defined. It's just that British sound. It's so unique.
Yeah, that's why it needs to be defined.
And the closest that people can do it is call it jazz, and I really hate to call it.
Yeah, you can't. That's where I agree with you.
Because that scares people. But you used to go when Steam Down were full on. You'd have like 300 people in the club.
Exactly, in a mosh pit almost.
Trying to get in Deptford.
And inside. Yeah.
I think you described that. You described it as Steam Down at one time to me as a genre. You did,
No, it's who they are.
Who they are. I thought that was
that's not a genre.
Which is Wayne and Nadeem Bingi. Well, he's left now, but it's slightly French a little bit. They brought the single out, and I know they're doing stuff at the moment. But the thing is, you have a core number of people that are Steam Down, but they're all doing different things. Like my boy Dominic Canning, he's known as Doom Cannon. He's got his own thing, but he's also Celeste's pianist, so he's part of Celeste's setup in the mainstream. So you'll find that a lot of these musicians are doing loads of different things, which I'm really, really pleased about, to make sure that they can generate revenue, do what they need to do to make money, but also still make the music they love.
Definitely. Just speak about yourself briefly, because I want to know about you. You want to speak about other people and about us. Yeah, man. We
Oh, crikey. Well, Rob's known me.
Really appreciate
I grew up in South London, right? And I remember opening up my mum's catalogue. I must have been 10 years old. And in them days, you were able to buy records in a catalogue. Like like Freeman's.
Oh yeah.
And it
was from Leicester. That was Leicester guy. He was. Go on anyway.
Freeman's catalogue. Exactly. When I was in London, but
just up the road from here, he was based.
All right.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, go on. Carry on.
I said, I've got to have this record. It was an Average White Band record, and it was the AWB, the White Album, and it had a picture of a lady's bum on it. Yeah. I thought I need to have that in my. It intrigued me. Mm-hmm. So I used to go there's a record shop on the way home from school, and I used to nip in there. One of those in those days, you could go in, ask them to get a record out and play it for you, even though you weren't going to buy it. You play it on the off chance that you might buy it. Right. Okay. So I used to go in there every day. Right, or every other day. So eventually there were two hippies that worked in there who owned it, and they said to me, you're in here every day, right? You might as well come and work in here on Saturdays. And that's how I started. I was 13 years of age. I got a letter from my mum and to work in there for pocket money and import records.
Wow.
And that started my journey, because those guys were into rock, they were into soul, they were into jazz. They were friends with Chris Blackwell.
Oh, okay.
Who obviously owned Island Records.
Island Records, yeah.
So that's it wasn't just the Bob Marley stuff. We're talking about the stuff like Free and Stevie Winwood and the 60s stuff as well. So they schooled me in that whole Lowell George, Little Feat.
Brilliant. Hey, if anybody's going to want a band, Little Feat, Lowell George and Little Feat.
Lowell George, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
So, and Joni Mitchell, and then I had a huge, and then of course we had a huge, because it was on Brixton Road, just black music, it was reggae, soul. That's all I had. So from the time I worked in there from 13 to when I left at 19 to basically come up to Leicester to do my degree, that was what I was about. And from about the age of 14, 15, I started clubbing. I used to sneak out the house, out the window, and literally 10 minutes from the River Thames. And then you're over Waterloo Bridge, and then you're at the Lyceum, or you're on Oxford Street, you're at Crackers.
Right.
This is it. And then I was a soul boy.
You was into soul.
And then I went to the Electric Ballroom. Everyone started body popping, and I thought, no, I'm not having that. Not doing that nonsense. Went upstairs. Jazz room.
All right.
You missed the bandana and mascara and glitter in your Guinness. And glitter in your, you missed all that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not like Norman Spence and them guys.
When I hit the jazz room, that's it. My life started.
That was it.
As far as I was concerned. You know.
Okay. And
absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, that thing works.
Cool. And speak about the first album you ever had then.
Can I just pull him back on something just for 1 minute? Now, I'm going to pull you back on this, bro. You were never 10 when Average White Band and The White Bottom came out. I'm sure you was a bit older than that, bro. You're a little near me. You're a little near me, so I'm just saying.
Let's not make this about age.
In 72.
Hey?
Right, that came out in 72, didn't it?
What, the Average White Band?
Yeah.
That album, 72. Yeah, I would have said more of that. 73, 74. No?
Right about that. But 75, it's in the middle. 73.
It's compromise.
Hey, listen, I'm talking about,
I must have been 10 or 11.
You're a bit older than that, bro. You know what I mean?
I was.
You're at senior school again. But anyway, go on, carry on.
I was in my first year at secondary school, so I must have been 11.
Okay, then, all right.
Because I was walking to the tube station, Oval Tube Station. I'm not going to go there with you, Rob, right?
Exactly. Don't get drawn out, Tony.
This is you, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right, yeah, go on.
It's not worth it.
35 years of friendship. This is what he gets you. Right. Anyway, moving swiftly on.
Yeah, go on.
So, effectively, that was my journey into the whole jazz world. My first record that I bought for myself on the jazz tip was Hank Mobley Roll Call.
All right.
Blue Note Records.
Right.
That was the thing.
A lot of firing, man.
I got a jazz album bought for me by somebody, and it was Ben Webster and Coleman Hawkins. It was, you know what, whenever I try and think of the title, it keeps coming out as Two Bad DJs. It's actually, I think it's something two saxophone something. I can't remember the name of the title, but it had all these jazz standards. It never entered my mind and all that kind of stuff. And when you're a kid, you listen to this stuff over and over. You listen to the same thing over and over again. And so I knew these. Whenever I hear any snippets of those standards anywhere, I know them instantly.
Is that their album, which has the two of them doing Blues for Yolanda? Is that the one?
Oh no! I think it's around the same period.
Is that a period, isn't it? Okay, yeah. I forgot what they called that.
That title rings a bell. I don't think it was that one.
Yeah, all right, yeah, okay.
It was two something.
Two
something. But it's one of those things with those albums. They marketed them so it had one cover for one country and another cover for another country. Different things, or they changed the cover periodically, like Miles's.
I think it's called. It was one of them at the Encounter series. I'm sure it was with the two of them together.
Yeah, it was. But they had a few of those.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So that was my first encounter, but my real first love album was Hank Mobley Roll Call. And the epitome, and rolling forward with that, like year before last, was in LA, and I was at the premiere of the Grammy Theatre. Terrence Martin invited me to the Grammy Theatre to, it was the launch of Blue Note, Beyond the Notes, documentary made about Blue Note Records. And I ended up meeting some of Hank Mobley's family because a lot of them were in the audience with this premiere. So you can imagine for me, a man in his 50s, being a fan of this music since I was a kid, to actually arrive at that point, and all the things that have happened to me in between, I always class myself as truly blessed.
Yeah, it's go on, sorry.
Been really lucky enough to meet so many talented musicians. I've helped so many musicians launch their careers. Some grateful, some not.
I'm grateful.
That's the story of us, bro. That's the story of us.
Exactly.
Mention Curtis Mayfield though, just for me.
Who's that? Mention who?
Curtis Mayfield, just for me.
Oh man, okay. Well, that was my time in Atlanta. But but the reason I was in America recently was because of Moonchild, because I came across them in 2011, and I literally was the first person to play their music. Right. And now, if you go through the top 20 of the hip hop charts, that Amber's voice is practically on about 8 or 9 of albums, hip hop albums. But no, Curtis, I was based in Atlanta and I was writing for
Hold on, bro. Hold on. We're gonna have to wrap up a little bit. We'd like to wrap up with some music. We got to come back on this show again, man.
Man. Run out of time.
Best, I've only heard your voice. I've only heard your voice, and it's one of the best shows that we've had.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's just your voice. We just love your voice.
You know. Hey, Mr. FM.
And you as well.
I'm blessed, man. You guys are doing a fantastic job.
All right, thank you.
I'm really pleased to have you guys in my life.
All right.
Stay blessed, man.
All right, and you, brother. Fantastic.